The story for today is about a former child prodigy. Well, she has a baby with a married man, and her life starts to tumble down the hill. Trigger warning, this sad story gets sadder as it progresses. This is 18 posts written to OP's late mother. I'm glad you guys are here for this one. It's a wild ride. I'm 27, female, and was one of those child prodigies once. But I had a lot of issues, one of which was my own cheating father. So I was destined to be a screw-up in spite of myself. At 17, I got my undergrad, but at 18, my issues caught up to me, and I got pregnant, and had my son Ian. Somehow at 22, I got my master's, but I quickly got stuck in a terrible low-level job at a big old company. But there, I met James, then 47, now 52. And well, he swept me off my feet. He was everything I wanted in a man. We started dating, and the best part was that he and Ian got along so well. And then, after I got pregnant again, it turned out James wasn't actually divorced, and his kids did not know we were dating. I wound up being a quick divorce and a quick marriage. His son Eli, then 7, now 12, did not really understood and took to me right away. His daughter, Leanne, who was then 17, now 22, was understandably mad, and she has every right to be. She did not care when my daughter Mia was born. It took a while for her to become cordial with me, but then about 7 months ago, I found out I was pregnant again. When we told everyone, Ian and Eli were fine with it. Mia was overjoyed, but Leanne exploded at us for having another kid to remind her of what we did to her. And I'm fine with her forever hating me. I deserve that. But then she started bullying Ian and blaming him for how I went from promising youth to stay-at-home housewife, and she actually got Eli to join in as well. So the two of them had gotten close and were like brothers, but a few days ago he made Ian cry with some of the stuff he said. Then she actually hid the hard drive that Ian's dad's filled up with video messages from him before he passed. I can't handle her being negative towards me, but I absolutely cannot for Ian. He's had a harder life than he deserved because I screwed up, and does not deserve to suffer. So yesterday I got mad and told her she needed to get over that her father cheated with me if it's going to turn her into such a hateful person. She called me an a-hole, and James took her side, so I'm wondering if I am the a-hole and should I just apologize? Second post. Somebody in my DMs told me that I can't go for mom support. I've looked around and I guess I'll be writing this kind of like a letter to my mom because, well, she's been gone. I made this account to make a post about my husband's daughter bullying my son. Everyone on that post of how delusional I was, and well, they're all right. Mom, you used to be so proud that I got to go to university at 13 years old. Dad always used to steal from you and cheat on you, but I know I used to make you proud and happy. But I was just so happy that you gave me a baby brother. I wish you could have seen my undergrad graduation, but you were gone by then because Dad would not take care of you. I thought I would become this super scientist and save you, but I failed. And then I should have been a good sister and focused on my master's, but I screwed up and got pregnant. You would have loved Ian. You would have been the best grandma. But his dad died too, and left him behind with a hard drive full of video messages and some journals. Mom, I really messed up after that. I got my master's, but I got involved with a married man, and when I got pregnant again, I married him, even though his daughter hated me. 'Cause I married him, I can't even see my baby brother anymore. Dad won't let me. I can phone him and talk about you, but that's it. Mom, I probably screwed up my husband's daughter as much as Dad screwed me up, and I probably made the same excuse for my husband on my post yesterday that you made for Dad. I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have become the scientist saving the world that you wanted me to be, not this terrible home-wrecking stay-at-home housewife. I ruined everything. I can't take care of my baby brother. I mentally can't go back to work. I can't even make my life work. I'm sorry, Mom. I wish I did not fail you, and I wish I did not hurt so many people. I wish I was a good person. Post number 3. I'm due this week. It's my 3rd baby, but things aren't good at home. I don't want to leave my son or daughter while in the hospital, and I'm just scared what'll happen to them if something happens to me. I've been commenting here to try and make myself feel like a better person, and it's helping, but I just feel overwhelmed and terrified. Post number 4. I had a bad phone call with my dad about my brother a few hours ago, and it's just running through my head. I hate him so much. I just hate him. I wish he died instead of you. The doctor said I should rest because I'll be discharged tomorrow, but I just can't. I miss you, Mom. I wish you were here to hold your new grandson. Post number 5. So I'm 27, female, and I gave birth to my 3rd and last baby last week. In fact, I'm still typing this from my hospital bed while my baby's sleeping. I did not imagine that I'd be on here, but I don't feel I can talk to anybody, but I know I need to. So, I guess this is my best bet. Pretty much, I'd had some complications that resulted in me losing a lot of blood, and that's why I've stayed in the hospital for so long. So my dad was a monster, and I firmly believe that his negligence towards my mother is what made her sickness worse, and why she died before her time. I know that she would have died anyways, but how he acted took months to a year away from her. My brother Will was only 2 when she died. He's 12 now, turning 13 soon. He doesn't even remember her. Eventually, my dad expected me to forgive him, but I just could not, and it pretty much severed things between us. The only contact I've had with my brother since then is by texting or video calls. He barely knows my son. He's never met my daughter, and I thought he'd never meet his nephew. My brother wanted to call me after I gave birth, but my husband texted him that I had an operation and could not talk. The day after, my brother came to the hospital to see me. He carpooled, so he got his friend's mom to bring him, and my husband let them in. It's been so long since I've seen him in person, and it meant so much to me that he came to see me because he thought I might die. If I had the strength, I would have given him such a big hug, even though he's so big now. He even got to hold his nephew, and they both look so cute. His visit and commenting on Mom for a minute have been the only bright spots I've had since giving birth. But then last night I got a phone call from my dad. He found out my brother visited me, and he was pretty much ranting at me for not turning him away, pointing out how he's forbidden him from seeing me, and that I needed to respect his wishes since he's the parent and I'm a terrible influence on him. And I know that he doesn't want Will to see me, and that's why I have not tried to force anything, but I honestly wanted to spend that little bit of time with him so bad and did not think about the trouble he'd get in with Father. That phone call has been troubling me, so just tell me, was I the a-hole for letting him come and see me? Post number 6. The only time I got up was to feed my baby or say hi to my son and stepson when they came home from school. I felt really sad today because it was your nephew's graduation, and well, I wished I could go. But just hugging my daughter does make me feel better. I miss you, Mom. I wish you could have been there to hug us both. Post number 7. I just miss you so much. This physical pain makes it so much worse, Mom. I can't even make food for my kids today. I feel like a failure. Post number 8. I've been in the hospital again for a few days. I hate being here, and I'm worried about my kids because of how my husband's daughter's been acting. I want to hold my baby. I don't want to be here. Somehow my dad found out, and he left me a really nasty message. He said that he's never going to let my brother talk to me again, and he's going to block my number, and it's best for my kids if I just go ahead and die. I feel like crying so badly, Mom. I miss my brother so much. He's such a sweet boy, and I wish I could take him from my dad. Thanks for listening, Mom. 9th post. I know it takes time to recover after a rupture, but it just hurts so much. My daughter wanted to play with me, but I can barely walk. I don't even have the strength to pick up my baby. My son and my stepson are so worried because I'm bedbound. I can't even shower or eat without my husband's help. It feels like this is karma for all the bad things I've done. I hate it so much, I just want to feel better again. 10th post. I feel so embarrassed. I've been in so much pain since leaving the hospital, but it's never been like this. My stepson came to ask me something, and it just happened because, well, I'm too weak to even move out of bed to the toilet. He got so scared, I feel so bad, I did not want him to see me that way. My husband drove back from work and got me clean, but I feel terrible. I can't even get out of bed to try and check on my stepson. I feel useless. Post number 11. I ended up throwing up again, but this time there was blood. So my husband rushed me over to the hospital, even though he had a meeting set with the surgeon. I have an operation set today again because they found complications they did not account for in my last operation. My stepson saw me throw up both times and he's really scared. I wish he didn't see. Please wish me some luck. Post number 12. I got back from the hospital again on the weekend and I'm finally strong to go on my phone again. I was so weak and I honestly could not do anything after my operation but breathe because everything else just hurt so much. My husband is still feeding me. Everything still hurts, but I'm getting better. It's just this pain is making me wish that I wasn't and that I died instead. Maybe then my husband's daughter would forgive me and stop hating my kids and love them as siblings. I know my stepson would miss me, but at least he'd have a good memory of me left. I don't want to leave my son all alone, 'cause his dad's dead too, but maybe everyone would treat him better and not associate all my failures with him. My daughter and baby are little and won't remember me, but my husband can go and marry someone else to raise them. It won't have to hurt them. And my poor baby brother will be better off too because I won't be around for Dad to use as an excuse to hurt him. I'm not going to try to kill myself. I'm going to try and do my best to get better for my children. But I just wish that I had died like Dad said, and I should. And then I could finally be with you again, and you could hold me like you did when I was little, Mom. I just hate that it feels like Dad was so right about it. 13th post. My husband can't be my caregiver anymore because he has to go work again on Monday. I'm still in so much pain, and apparently this is the way it has to be. I look like a corpse, and I can barely even talk, and even writing this, it's a mess. My husband arranged for a caregiver service to send a nurse to feed me, bathe me, and everything else I can't do anymore. I was in bed when he told everyone, and he got into an argument with my stepson because he thinks it means I'm dying. He tried to tell him I wasn't, but my stepson doesn't believe him. He came to me crying, saying he doesn't want me to die, and I was too weak to tell him I'm not. All I could do was put my hand in his hair. I think he told my son he thinks my husband's lying because he was so scared too. How can I explain this to him when it hurts too much to even talk? 14th post. He said that he understands that I'm hurting everywhere, but that the rupture I had and the operation after should not affect my ability to speak like it did my ability to move, or other things. He says it's a psychological or maybe because of exhaustion. I don't know if he's right, but I do know that it does hurt when I talk more than short sentences. I'm sorry, Mom. I wish I could be more than this, and if it is psychological, that I can't get over this. Post number 15. It was okay when my husband was doing it for me, but an hour ago my baby was crying and the nanny he hired changed her and cleaned her. And then half an hour later, my nurse did the same to me. I hate this. I feel so humiliated. I'm like almost 30, who can't even care for her own kids. Post number 16. I'm finally able to talk again. It doesn't hurt, and I can communicate with my husband and my kids, but most of all with my nurses and my therapist. I know I did not lose it that long, but since I can't walk or anything else anymore, and this is permanent, I guess I was just really worried. But yesterday was the 4th day in a row I could talk without pain. I still get tired and have to stop, but I think that should stop soon. It means so much to me to be able to actually talk to my son and stepson about their day and to be able to play as much as I can with my daughter. I was so scared I'd never get to again. I don't even mind that I sound completely different. 17th post. I was a child prodigy and I skipped grades and graduated very young. I'm now bedbound and mostly immobile. I always knew my daughter was gifted too, but this week at school they're running tests on her. My husband's going to go and meet people there to judge her grade level. I doubt they'll send her anywhere ahead of grade 1 because she's only 4, but I don't want her to skip any grade. It really messed me up, Mom. Skipping grades and not being able to save you, and not fulfilling any of your dreams. But maybe it would not have weighed on me so hard if I just stuck with my age. I don't want my daughter to go through anything like that. She's just a little girl. Final post. Hi, Mom. It's been a week since I posted. It's worse than I thought. My daughter tested much higher than I thought, and they think she would belong in grade 2. It's been filling me with such anxiety. I attended the meeting my husband went to over the speakerphone because I'm nearly permanently bedbound. I tried to tell them about my experience skipping grades and how I graduated university at 17. But it felt like they kept ignoring me and saying it isn't like that anymore and it's different. That worst part is how excited my husband is. He loves his little angel being a genius. He wants this for her, and it's like he doesn't get why I don't want it, even though I've told him everything that went wrong with me. My stepson and my son have promised me they'll watch out for her, but they should not have to. My real mom was so proud that I went to university at 13, and I would be too of my daughter, but I want her to be normal. I don't want her to be stuck taking care of me and her younger brother because I'm too sick to, and she's more mature just like I had to. It's not fair. I miss my mom so much. I know I would not be in this mess if she was still around. Well, I simply was not lying when I said it got worse and worse and worse. I want to read a comment. I expected OP to be a monster, but boy, by the end I'm crying for this woman. Yeah, I don't really like the title of the post. It simply implies some sort of karmic justice or something. But really, she was a little more than a child when she started dating her husband, who lied about being divorced. There's evidence that gifted children often end up socially and emotionally stunted because they were unable to socialize properly with other children at a normal pace, which sounds like what probably happened here. She went to college at age 13 and lost her mother soon after. Her father cut her off. She was very vulnerable when she met her husband. In every post, she accepts that she hurt people and doesn't expect the forgiveness and just wants to protect her children, including her stepson. This isn't an evil stepmother. She's a victim of circumstance, and guys, I do agree with that. Let me know your thoughts on this one. This was a hard one to read because it was pretty emotional. Drop your thoughts down below, and we're going to turn to our final story of the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed that, just in case there's any more updates. Final net story is, my sister, who is female 22, ripped up my Stan Lee autograph, and I have not forgiven her, even if my mom's pressuring me to, for family's sake. Okay, so I'm a huge Marvel nerd. The kind of nerd that cosplays, go to cons, and draws her own stuff, mostly fan service. My sister ridicules my hobby, saying that it's pathetic and retarded. She claims I'm delusional as a grown woman playing dress-up. Besides that, we do have a good relationship. We're not friends, but sisters, if that makes sense. So 3 years ago, I managed to save up enough to go to a con in the USA and meet the real Stan Lee. He signed one of my pictures I did of the Big Three and complimented it. It was one of the best days of my life. Since then, the signed picture has been on my wall. Flash forward. A few weeks ago, my sister asked for my jacket and I tell her no. Reason being that she was a jerk to me the whole week. She pouted and I left the house. When I came back, I see my freaking Stan Lee autograph ripped on the floor. I freaking lost it. Then my sister came in and started teasing me. Look at that grown woman crying over a piece of paper. When she saw that I was for real distressed, she started saying that it was just a piece of paper that I can get a new one. So I pushed her out of my room and have been extremely short with her since. She tries to engage in conversation, but I shoot her down. She tries to bribe me with movie tickets, and I tell her to go with her boyfriend, etc. She has yet to apologize for it. She just says that I should be over it by now. My mom says the same. She says a materialistic thing should not come in between family and that I should simply let it go. My dad is also really mad at sister and by extension mom. He as well is a big Marvel fan as me, and he was livid when he found out. This whole ordeal is literally splitting our family apart. My mother and sister think I'm being unfair by not letting go, and I think they're both disrespecting me. Mom is mad and Dad is not talking sense into me and taking my side, apparently she says. And Dad's mad at Mom for failing to punish my sister and spoiling her. I feel awful guilty, guys, but also raging mad. Can someone help me with this? Update number 1. Thanks for the great advice. A lot's happened after my mom and sister left, and we took the money that was meant for my sister's car payment for the restoration. My grandma called me and asked what happened. I explained to my grandma what happened and tried to explain who Stanley was. Surprisingly, well, she understood. I was relieved. For a moment, I thought that my dad and I would get crap from everyone. My sister started giving me crap about telling our grandma and being a, quote, snitch. I told her that she asked me and I just told the truth. But what took the cake was that my sister apparently ranted in her friend group chat about me and how she could not understand my behavior. She again ridiculed my hobby and so on. One of the dudes was really mad and they had a big argument in the group chat. The dude was so mad, he posted the screenshots in his Insta story and they spread like wildfire. She is now being ostracized by our community with a few exceptions. My mom and sister came back in the morning. They did not talk much to us. My mom came in the room and asked if we found someone that restored the picture. We had a short, dry conversation till she asked me why I was making such a big deal about this. And I shut her up like you guys told me to. I started to explain who the heck Stan Lee was, how long the painting took me, how much it meant to me, equated it to the monetary value, and ended up with, it's not about the autograph, it's about the disrespect you both showed me and how little you seem to care about me. You said it's not worth it to destroy family over materialistic things, but your daughter destroyed my most valuable possession because I did not lend my jacket. Yeah, y'all, my mom cried. She apologized profusely and she said she just did not know how to deal with it and just wanted the tension to be over. And as I was more cool-headed than my sister, she selfishly expected me to be the bigger person. My mom and dad are now talking to my sister very seriously because, well, she has yet to apologize for everything. Having met Stanley myself, rest in peace, I can say I would absolutely be furious. Not only was it a memory, not only was it his autograph, it was a painting that OP actually made, and it spent hours working on it. I would have done the same thing, if not more. Guys, let me know your opinion on this one. Do you think OP was overreacting? In my opinion, I say no. But drop your thoughts down below. I love to read perspectives from everybody, so make sure you share your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I really appreciate your time. I hope to see you tomorrow and the more stories here to come.